Hello. My name is Het-Fekat, which you can just call me Het, as in heterosexual, because I know that the last part is a little bit difficult to pronounce. We are the Wonder Witches. I am here with Chan.
Hi.
And today we're going to be discussing the exhilarating topic of protection magic, which when I was younger, or when I just started, I thought it was painfully boring. I didn't want to learn any of it. And then I had one of my deities come down and was like, yeah, you really need to get good at this. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to. But so I ended up studying a lot of it, and I still struggle with it sometimes, but I've learned a lot of good techniques. Chan, on the other hand, is like, that's one of her expertise.
Yeah, when I first went into magic, I started on like protection magic and healing magic, and I was just like, I need to learn this now, or else my house is gonna get broken into or something.
Oh yeah, meanwhile I was over here like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I got so much shit drawn towards me. Oh, also there's probably going to be some fruity language, just for a heads up. So
yeah, we're sailors here.
Yeah, if you're under 18, you might not want to watch this, or if you have like an issue with swearing, this may not be a good podcast for you. We're pretty casual here.
Mm-hmm.
And we do a lot of swearing and vulgar language, so just be prepared for that. But without further ado, we've written some things down that we want to talk about. Good stuff for the basic witch. We're not going too in-depth because there's a lot to cover with this topic. Let me tell you, this is one of those that is like, it's
loaded.
It's
a loaded topic.
It's a branch. There's so many things you can do. Like, there's different cultures around the world that have different defenses and stuff. Like, you can really, there's a lot of things you can do. And obviously there's things that I do that some other person may not. And I'm just going to talk about what I know and what has worked. So do you want to start us off talking about some of your experiences, or
how I made them and whatnot?
Oh yeah, well, Chan is really good about... Actually, should we just go through the list and kind of do a heads up of what we're going to talk about today? Okay, so on the agenda for this afternoon, we're going to talk about warding. We're going to talk about protection jars, which is something that I use often and I've had a lot of success with. We're going to talk about witch balls and witch jars. And we're not talking about the balls between your legs. And we're gonna dabble in curse breaking, but that's probably gonna be for a different episode. We'll go over some basic herbs and stones that you can use in said protection spells. And then like pouches, black candles, just very basic stuff.
Yeah, sounds good.
So you can talk about your witch balls if you want.
So yeah, I remember Googling online like different types of protection and what people use, and I saw witch balls were a thing, which is something like a little glass bulb, or you can use plastic. I use plastic because I have two annoying cats who have a habit of like swatting at Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, you can use Christmas ornaments. Like, that's a really good, like, if you can't find like a beautiful crystal ball.
Oh God, no! Like, I would not spend more than $2 on it.
Yeah, I mean, you actually, Chan made me a protection, a witch ball, because I was having some trouble. I think last summer. Yeah, I can't even remember what the trouble was, but I think it was just a generic protection thing. Chan has on multiple occasions given me protection items.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's my area of expertise. It's the first thing I jumped into, and I live in a fairly bad neighborhood in comparison to the rest of the town.
Okay, so Pokemon Go just came out, right? And I went over to Liz's house. I'm using your real name, crap.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so I went over to Liz's house, and I was like, I want to catch some Pokemon in your neighborhood. And Liz and Mihir were like, you shouldn't walk around this neighborhood because it might not be safe.
It was like nearly afternoon, so everyone was home at that time. And when everyone's home, the drunks come out and the people start smoking weed. So
oh my lord,
it gets pretty
I
bad.
just wanted to catch some Zubats.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but like the Zubats aren't like worth risking your life.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows they are the best Pokemon, but I don't know if they're worth getting shot over. I actually don't mind Zubats.
I don't think you would get shot, but you would probably get mugged or like probably near raped or something.
Oh God.
Like we have a few like child molesters in the area.
Oh
like
Lord
3
Almighty.
at least down my street.
Oh, they're everywhere. I'll tell you. Like,
it's because we're not like near a school at all. In this place, like downtown, has like I don't know, like 3 schools.
Yeah, 3. I'm basically in a safe zone because I live in a village and there's schools everywhere. So I don't think that there's any sex offenders in my area.
I only live near horse farms.
Only horse farms?
It's like weird because it's like, oh yeah, the really rural area has a bunch of sex offenders.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to deal with the horse offenders like I do.
Oh my god. Oh.
Because, there's no horse farms around here, so they just all move out to the village.
Yeah, they
Lord
move here
Almighty.
so they can...
So they're not around horses, so they might accidentally slip and molest.
Oh my gosh. Molestia.
More like Princess Celestia, more like Princess Molestia.
This conversation's gonna make people uncomfortable.
Oh my god. No, we are literally the Game Grumps of witches, okay? If people have an issue with this, then they need to go elsewhere because at least I will admit that I am a piece of shit human.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like,
the core of my being.
Like, at the core of my being, like, I know I pray twice a day, and I do all the things I'm supposed to do, but deep down inside, I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Alright, going back on
topic. We have important things to talk about, of course.
My witch balls, I usually put inside them, like, you're supposed to put, like, pretty things, so I
put pretty things on your witch balls?
I like to decorate mine with jewelry on my balls. No, but...
Lord, I'll stop.
No, but... Usually on mine, I put it with salt, like halfway through with salt.
Oh, salt is one of the best things you can use for protection. As you've probably learned from various pop culture references, rings of salt is a good, easy, I don't know quite how powerful it is, but it's good for on-the-fly kind of thing.
It's good for purification, too.
Yeah,
and that's the purpose
cleansing.
of it inside the witch ball. And then I put, like, for pretty things, I have a few dried out flowers. And I stuck them with, like, eyelash glue onto the witch ball. Because I didn't have any glue that would dry and look clear. I didn't have any clear, like, dry glue.
Hey, I mean, use what you have. Like, that's part of witchcraft is, like, being adaptable.
I just, like, stuck them with, like...
As long as it looks good, man.
Yeah, it looks really good. And then I used a chopstick to put it in because I didn't have anything.
Amazing.
You're really good with chopsticks.
Liz is the ghetto witch.
I'm sorry.
No, you used rose petals in mine.
I used rose petals and daffodil petals, I think.
Are there really? I don't see any.
Maybe
they just blend in with the rose petals.
There's yellow roses.
And
red roses. And then I put, what did I put in? Either an onyx or an obsidian. Or maybe a jet.
Real onyx is hard to find.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Probably an obsidian.
I don't know much about onyx, which I'm usually like the gem person, but onyx is just, other than sardonyx, I don't know much about it. I just know it's really hard to come by, like the rare stuff. I know that obsidian is more common. Speaking of which, you want to talk about some random correspondence that can help y'all with your protection spells, like just name some random herbs and like gems.
I use cotton a shit ton.
Cotton,
like cotton is great for
yeah, I've heard that cotton is good. You were the one who told me that. Cotton is good.
I use cotton and cottonwood.
Catnip.
Yeah,
catnip. I know that I use basil everywhere.
Oh yeah, I put basil leaves in there. Wrote protection on one, and I.
Oh yeah, basil is all the time. I put basil in the corners of my room. Because there's a rhyme that I heard. I can't remember where I heard it. I heard it when I was younger. But it said, evil cannot walk where basil is. So I use basil all the time. It is like the protection herb. I use a lot of rosemary.
Yeah.
Sage. I used to use sage more than I do now. I usually just use it for cleansing. It's more
these
like
days I use it for cleansing. I guess that's also helpful because what the witch ball is supposed to do is suck in the like evil or whatever's trying to harm you, and then purify it.
Yeah, see, I've actually, and that goes into protection jars and stuff, which would be a great way to go into that topic, but I still want to talk about correspondences because I like to talk about correspondences. And on the topic of salt, real quick, this is another pop culture thing that's used all over the place. I mean, it was used in the Spiderwick Chronicles as well, which was a horrible movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but yeah, it's really bad, like ridiculously bad.
Oh geez, I'll have to go home and watch it. I like ridiculously bad things.
I think that I might own it if you want to borrow it. And don't give it back.
We'll burn it during Wet Ron Pet.
Yeah, pretty much. Along with Chelsea's concert.
Oh my god.
Oh, we were telling that story earlier. I don't want to repeat it now just because it'll get us more off topic. But if you take salt, you can put it on around the borders of your property as well as along the windowsills.
Yeah.
Really, for a good protection, or like along the borders of the house as well. Like I know that I have made protection sprinkling powder where I mix salt with a few different herbs like rosemary, basil. Those are the two big ones that I use. Most plants have some protection like ability. I mean, there's some really niche things like chickweed that are only good for like love spells, but like most of the big name herbs, you got your cinnamon. Cinnamon is fabulous
I use cinnamon
for lots of things. Basil's fabulous for lots of things. Rosemary, sage, St. John's wort, mugwort.
I have so much St. John's wort now.
Oh my god.
Because it grows in our area.
Oh yeah, so absolutely. St. John's wort is one of my favorite herbs to use because I use it in both tea and in witchcraft.
Yeah.
As well. It is an antidepressant, so you can mix it in with your tea. Just be careful because it is also a blood thinner. But when I was unmedicated for my depression, I drank a lot of St. John's wort tea.
Yeah, I should start doing that.
You should. It'll help a lot. I actually overdosed on it once. And nothing bad happened. It was actually like one of the best days of my life.
Oh, maybe that was the dosage you needed.
Oh yeah, it very well might have been. But it just made me like really happy. It made me so happy I like wrote poetry and stuff. It only lasted for like 2 hours, but
every 2 hours you need your tea. Got it. I'll just infuse it in my water and
you're like buying like gallons upon I guess it wouldn't be gallons because it's not liquid, but just like pounds and pounds of St. John's wort. You like. We have a witch shop at the end of the street, and it's like you go in there and you just like take all of the St. John's wort.
Like, what you using it for? Nothing much.
Nothing much. I'm just trying to not be sad.
Yeah, make myself happy.
Make myself happy. Trying to live my live.
Yeah.
Okay, back to correspondences. So those are a lot of. I mean, you can really use a lot of things.
Yeah,
for protection.
A lot.
Salt is huge. Man, there's like
there's a lot of common ones too. Like
most of the common
kitchen
ones.
Cabinet.
Oh yeah, cloves is one that comes. Which I know, Mihir doesn't like cloves. I like cloves a lot.
Yeah, I like cloves.
I love cloves. Cloves.
Don't they grow in my garden, or is that like something else?
That might be chives.
No,
it's not chives.
It's the
That's clover.
Oh, that's clover.
That's clover, which also can protect you.
Yeah.
And also you can use clover for exorcisms. Isn't that fun?
They grow like weeds in my garden.
Clover is everywhere. I love clover.
I didn't have such an infestation last year though.
If you want, clover is like one of the most useful magical herbs because you can use it. You can use it for banishing negative energy. You can use it for exorcism. You can use it for protection. You can use it for luck. You can use it for love. I'm pretty sure. It's just like psychic power. Pretty much everything across the board. Clover is a good one, and then obviously
I should harvest some.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just give you a bunch to dry out.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I mean, like I even have like behind us right now. I have like some I have chicory and wild rose and some plant that I have yet to identify.
Yeah, because I
just
hate
drying.
It's an infestation.
See, like it's really interesting how people have these like predisposition for like disliking an herb or plant because of various experiences that they've had with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even, like, prior to, like, witchcraft. Like, for example, we have that honeysuckle bush in my backyard. And when I was younger, I just learned it was a honeysuckle recently. But when I was younger, I would eat the berries, or I didn't eat them really. I was dared to eat them, and I have a bad habit of doing if you dare me to do something, odds are I'll do it. I'm really bad about turning it dares down. So I had my cousin dare me to eat those berries, and the berries will make you sick. So when I ate those honeysuckle berries, obviously it made me sick. Obviously, for the rest of my life, I looked at that plant and was like, that is the poison plant.
Yeah.
That's the poison plant.
I mean, we had a bunch of those things growing in the, like, in our elementary, like, playground, we had those.
Oh, yeah, they're
kids
everywhere.
Would
they're
eat
everywhere.
them, like, candy.
Oh.
And they would get sick, and
They
we
would get sick. They'd get the shits.
It was up to us 5th graders to, like, tell the kindergartners, no, do not do
man,
that.
I learned when I was young that those are bad. Now, if you do research on the correspondences of honeysuckle, you'll see that the berries are used all the time in love spells. I would never, ever use honeysuckle in a love spell. Yeah, I'm like, but also, like, I wouldn't use it in, like, a curse either, because, like, what if it backfired and, like, you made their life better?
Your enemy falls in love with you or something.
Yeah, we were joking about that the other day.
Imagine your OTP.
Oh, God almighty. Oh, Lord.
Oh my God, I would do that for, like, a fan fiction.
Oh, weren't you gonna put it in your story?
Yes, it's perfect.
Yeah, I don't think I would use honeysuckle for anything.
Yeah.
And there's part of me that's, like, not 100% sure if it is honeysuckle, because there are so many honeysuckle species.
Yeah, no, there is.
There's tons of them. Keith picked a plant, and I couldn't identify it, and then I learned later it was honeysuckle, and I'm like, this looks completely different than the honeysuckle growing in my backyard.
It's just different colors, different shapes.
They're from different parts of the world. Like, there are some that are native to, I think, actually, they're all invasive. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not using them for anything.
Yeah.
They're not edible. The flowers might be edible, but I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah, when I was little, I used to take them all, and I used to mash them in a little thing. And then we actually took bees. We would catch bees, and then mash it up all together in, like, some type of...
Okay, so when I was younger, I would pick the honeysuckle berries because I knew they were poisonous, and I guess we would make jam out of them, me and my friends, and we'd be like, who are we going to poison this with? And then we didn't poison anyone, because nobody was dumb enough to take our jam that's made of honeysuckle berries, because you can smell it. It smells bad. Like, like you wouldn't put something that smelled like that in your body.
It smelled very bitter.
Oh, yeah, it is. Sometimes, like, if I taste a little bit to make sure it's honeysuckle, I don't bite the berries, but I can, like, pop it open, like, lick a little bit of it, or even just the scent. Like, you can tell.
Yeah, it has very specific
smell. I wouldn't call it pungent, but for me, since I've known it for so long, I recognize it, like, very, very quickly. I'm like, this is honeysuckle.
If you wear honeysuckle perfume, I'm high-key judging you.
Yeah, I pretty much. Like, and then, like, we saw, we went to a metaphysical store today called The Sacred Sage. Really great place if you live in, where are we, Southeast Michigan?
Yeah, it's in Farmington.
Yeah, it's in Farmington. It's a really great store. And I bought some essential oils there, one of which Chan bought for me, my dear friend. Yeah, you kind soul.
No problem.
And they had honeysuckle oil, and I'm like, why would you ever?
Yeah, why would you ever want that? Why would you want to smell?
We're probably gonna offend somebody who's, like, really into honeysuckle. Like, there's gonna be a priestess of honeysuckle, like, she's the honeysuckle gods.
How dare you?
How dare?
This is my god.
I worship the honeysuckle plants. How dare? And then we're gonna get, like, 8 dislikes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, we should go back to protection eventually. I mean, I know that talking about honeysuckle is fascinating, but
it's, like, my favorite thing.
I know, I love honeysuckle. I mean, that's what my witch name should be. Honeysuckle.
If you called yourself honeysuckle, I'd probably never talk to you.
Okay, I wouldn't hang out with somebody who calls themselves honeysuckle. Okay, like, watch the one viewer of this podcast be like, that's my witch name.
That's my witch name.
That's my witch name.
Honeysuckle McGee.
You don't... Honeysuckle McGee? What? Like, you don't understand what honeysuckles mean to me.
I mean, like, if you have a deep meaning behind honeysuckles and that's,
Maybe-
like, really touching
maybe-
as shit, I'm okay, like,
Yeah, if you
whatever.
tell your story to me and I'm like, wow, that's rad as fuck, then...
Like, good for you. Like,
yeah.
go for it. Be you.
Yeah, but there's a difference between somebody, like, having a genuine meaning behind their name and then somebody is just picking something because they like how it sounds.
True.
Like, you see, my witch name that I still have to use because a lot of my... on Tumblr, which is my blog is Hedge Witch Wannabe, and watch me get a bunch of unfollows from that because they'll see how I really am. They'll see how I really am, and they'll realize I'm a jerk. And I have a lot of followers, and that blog really makes me happy, but I feel like if anybody sees this, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm not following this piece of shit anymore.
Yeah, making a, like, blog post, oh my gosh, she hates honeysuckles.
Oh my god, she
follower
hates
being like,
honeysuckles.
Your favorite is problematic.
Yeah, but okay, my witch name for a while was Owl Feather. And I
Yeah.
hate that name.
Oh,
I
yeah,
hate
no.
it. I hate it with a burning passion.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would be good for somebody else. Like, if you had a genuine, like, meaning behind it, if, like, owls meant something very symbolic to you, then I could understand that completely. The reason I don't like it is because it sounds generic, and I have no reason to have that name.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a
Yeah,
fair
like,
point.
Like, I love owls to pieces. I think they're some of the coolest animals ever, but so does every other witch on the planet.
Yeah, that's very true.
And so the name Owl Feather is just, like, so cliche. I remember when I chose it, I just needed a name. Like, I was struggling to think of something, and I was like, oh, just the Owl Feather.
I mean, mine's less creative. Mine's literally just half my internet name.
Half your... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Oblivi-chan. It's just Chan.
Oblivi-chan. Chan. Hey, that's all good.
Yeah, I usually go by Oblivi-chan by everything. But I can just, like... I also go by, like, Suburban Mom.
Yeah, it's not Burb. It was Suburban Mom, as in Burb.
Yeah.
But now we have the Bear Mom. But I like Het-Fekat better, which I'm probably not pronouncing right, and that is horrible.
Yeah,
it is
fine.
really bad. I need to look up the proper pronunciation. So for now, you can just call me Het, as in heterosexual.
Yeah. And you guys can just call me, like, Ma or something.
Yeah, you can call her Mom. I mean, Lion Mother, who is Mihir, is also a mother. I don't know.
Yeah,
she can be mother, and you can be Ma.
Yeah, my kids call me Ma. So
they call you Ma.
They'd be like, Ma! And I'd be like,
I call you Kale Waifu.
Kale Waifu. I'm every vegan's dream girl.
Yeah.
Right here.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Like, you're the reason I'm eating all these, like, fruits and vegetables is because of your influence. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here eating Oreos.
Those are vegan, though. Still counts. Like, I mean... Okay, we need to actually get back. Yeah. We should talk about gemstones, because I love talking about gemstones.
Oh, yeah, gemstones.
I get a rock-hard boner for gemstones. Okay, so I love gemstones so much, I almost taught a class at our local witch store, but then I decided not to. I got really busy, and I didn't want to go through with the curriculum and stuff, and they did some things, too, that annoyed us
We should make
lately.
our own rants about, like...
We can have a rant in another video, because we have a lot of things to rant about that store.
Definitely.
I'm not going to name names, because part of me still wants to support them, because it's still a local business, but they've done some things that have gotten on our nerves on more than one occasion.
Yeah, and I think it's, like, something to do with metaphysical shops in general, because I have seen complaints about it on Tumblr, too. They're all like, no, I hate going to metaphysical shops.
Oh, yeah. It's such a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like, there have been times where I've had fabulous experiences at metaphysical shops. That's why I like the Sacred Sage so much, because whenever I go in there, this woman is just a gem. She's, like, so nice.
Yeah.
And she never pries or anything. But there have been other times where I'll pick up a black candle, and the shopkeeper will come over and be like, what you doing? And I'm like, oh, none of your business?
Like, even when you talk about just protecting yourself, they're all like, be careful, be careful, be
yeah,
careful.
they, like...
And it's like, I'm not a witchling. Like, I understand...
trust me, we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
We study a lot.
I think it's because we look young. Like, I do not look my age. Some people say I look like I'm still young high schooler.
Oh, so you look older to me. Maybe it's because I know you. I know how mature you are.
Oh, thank you. Aww.
Yes, yeah, you look like you could, you look like a MILF.
Thanks, I try my best.
Dude, I mean, that probably sounds, like, really messed up, but, like, you look like a very attractive mom, which I hope is a compliment for you.
It is a compliment. I love looking older, and I like looking hot, so...
Yeah, all you need is your brunette hair, man. But yeah, they've done some things. Because it's... The thing with metaphysical stores is, like, you're talking about things that are so close to your heart. It's like going into a store where you're, like, guaranteed to talk about your religion or just beliefs in general with somebody who is almost guaranteed to have completely different beliefs. And that can become like a hot button topic pretty quickly. And so there have been times, especially because, like, obviously if you go on Tumblr at all on the witch tags, which I don't very often, admittedly, you'll see that, like, there's a huge controversy that is still probably going on about the read and like cursing and stuff. And personally, I don't follow the read. I used to, and it did not help me. But that was just my personal experience. If it's helping you, by all means, stick to it. But my religion now is the religion I think I'm going to stick with for the rest of my life, which of course is Kemeticism.
Yep, love it.
I am a filthy cat worshiper. No, I'm not. I'm actually a very clean cat worshiper, and I am proud of it. I wash myself before all of my important rituals. I put on holy water. I am very into it.
Yeah,
I get into it. I put on a dress and stuff. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it's very special to you. For me, it's like very casual, but I'm really used to religion.
Yeah. I was an atheist for like 17 years, so like the transition from like pure hardcore atheism to Kemeticism was really tough.
Yeah.
But that is another conversation for another episode.
Yeah, that's...
Rocks. We gotta talk about some rocks. Okay, so wonderful stones to use for protection include obsidian, smoky quartz, clear quartz too. Labradorite is very interesting. There are also a lot of stones that have like very like niche protection, like malachite, for example. Good protection stone. It is known as like it protects in air. So if you're going on a plane, you want to carry malachite. Like I have a friend she's flying by herself. This might be the first time she's flying actually, and she's doing it by herself. She's flying out to California, which is a long flight.
Yeah.
A roommate of mine, and I think she's nervous. She's really nervous. So I was like, if you carry a malachite with you, it's going to help you because that is the stone to take when you're flying and you want to stay safe. Like malachite, that's the one. And then you have stones like moonstone and aquamarine that are very good to be carried when you are going over water. Yeah. They're like very good for water protection. So you have those like more niche stones. There are other ones that are like they specifically like will guard against like lightning and stuff. And actually this isn't a rock, but St. John's wort protects against lightning strikes and thievery. So that's a thing that exists.
It's a good thing to put in like the wards around your room so that nobody breaks in.
Oh yeah, pretty much. And let's see what other kind. Amethyst is a good one. Labradorite protects against malevolent spirits. Yeah. So there's a lot of, I've heard psychics talk about this, psychic mediums who have a lot of seances and stuff. They often use labradorite. And obviously I'm a huge fan of labradorite as a spirit worker. I love that stone to pieces. It was my first favorite stone. Lapis lazuli, which is probably one that you're going to hear me talk about a lot because I have just the biggest geology boner for that gemstone. I love lapis, not to mention it's super sacred in Kemeticism, so like I just love everything about that rock, and that's a really powerful protector. Carnelian is, I think, in battle. I think that's one of the ones in battle. Red jasper and carnelian, like the ones that look like blood, are good protection for the battlefield, because us witches charging into battle.
Well, I mean, like, if I ever go to the army, I'll definitely fill my pockets with red jasper.
Oh, absolutely. I would get, they say that carnelian is good to wear over the heart, because it'll bring you courage and protection. And apparently that's something that Egyptians used to do. I'm looking over at my, like, rock collection to see if I'm forgetting anything. Oh, man. Citrine. Citrine's a good one. Citrine's good for cleansing as well. It pushes out negative energy. Natural citrine, very difficult to find. Most of the citrine you're going to see in metaphysical shops is heat-treated amethyst. Now, I mean, there's a lot of opinions regarding that.
Yeah.
I don't use citrine for protection. It just says, and cleansing. It's just never worked for me. But if your heat-treated amethyst works for that, then by all means, roll with it. My citrine, I use a lot for money attraction.
Yeah.
Like, citrine has been good for that for me. But as far as, like, cleansing and stuff, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know if a natural citrine would be different. I mean,
I don't know.
no.
I use, like, rose quartz, like, if I need to cleanse something.
Oh, cleansing. Yeah, I use rose quartz for cleansing, too. That's what I used to use to cleanse my tarot deck. Back when I had, like, 6 whole stones, I had a huge rose quartz that I bought, and I was so excited about it, and I used it. I used it to cleanse. And then I tried to use my citrine instead, and I was like, it doesn't work as well as the...
Yeah.
And I was like, this, what the heck? I thought that the citrine was supposed to be better than the rose quartz, but it all depends on your personal experience. Use what works for you, essentially.
Yeah.
One stone, my favorite protection stone, is black tourmaline. That is the protection bomb. Oh, hematite too. How can we forget hematite? Hematite is huge. I've heard of people wearing hematite jewelry for protection, and when they go into a dangerous place, the hematite, in order to protect them, it'll like break, it'll like absorb the energy, and it'll break. And it'll kind of like the stone will like almost sacrifice itself for the person wearing it. Oh, poor stone. Poor stone. I don't use a lot of hematite because I'll bring that up in another episode, actually. I mean, it's not relevant to protection, but it's sacred to a deity that I am not on super good terms with.
Oh, is it?
I don't want to say it out loud because he's going to come and ruin our podcast.
He's the dinosaur-looking one.
He's a dinosaur. I mean, he probably knows we're talking about him. Let's be real here. Like,
I mean, he doesn't mind me too much, so...
No, I mean, he doesn't... We're not actually on bad terms. I mean, he's done things to save my life that I will never, ever, ever forget. How he literally saved my life. But he thinks I'm a nerd. And the last time I gave him an offering, 3 minutes later, a cockroach showed up in my apartment, so that's the kind of terms we're on. The kind where if I give him an offering, I'll get cockroaches.
Yeah.
I don't think that he doesn't hate me. I just think that he thinks I'm, like, mildly annoying, which is true. I probably am.
Well, I mean...
Well, he thinks I'm a nerd, which I am a huge nerd. I'm not going to deny it.
You are a big nerd.
I'm the biggest nerd. I literally sit in my room and do art all day and watch the Game Grumps.
That's fair.
I am just the nerdiest, man. I am into that cosplay. I mean, we spent, like, half an afternoon playing Pokemon Go today.
Yeah.
Walking
around, got some Pokemon.
Oh my god, it was great. I loved it. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I was even telling Liz, like, you can probably feel my energy right now. Yeah. And it is, like, so happy. I'm just, like, and she was like, yeah, I'm feeding off it.
Yeah.
And I'm
really
like, I don't care because I'm so happy. I don't think that my mood will go down if you take some of my happiness. Okay, I'm trying to look over at my stone collection. Black tourmaline is the big one. Smoky quartz, hematite, those are the big ins. You got Apache tears, lots of black stones. Usually if it's a black stone, usually the color black is associated with protection, like black candles and stuff.
Which is funny because a lot of people are like, oh, black means Satan. And it's like, actually, no.
Actually, it's, I think the reason that it, first, white can be used for protection too.
Yeah.
And the reason is, the theories behind that, at least I believe, is because if you research the color black in nature, it absorbs light, which is energy, and none of it can escape. So if you are lighting a black candle, in theory, it will absorb the negative energy and any bad things, and it'll burn it. Yeah. It will refuse to let it escape. And so that's the logic behind black candles being used for protection. White candles, if you do white in nature, white repels light, repels energy. And so that's why I guess you could say cleansing would be a better reason to use white. I use white for cleansing and black for protection, personally. I also love black candles because I'm a goth I'm not actually goth.
No.
I've never been goth.
That was
but
me in high school. You are never.
I was never goth. Even when I had a Hot Topic phase, I was never goth.
Yeah, you were. You were very like, I don't know, yourself.
Well, I was a loser, but I was a goofy loser.
Yeah, being a loser was good though.
True. I'm still a loser, but now I'm awesome.
You're an awesome loser.
I am an awesome loser.
oxymoron in itself.
I mean, let me live my life. And something you can use for stones. I know we hopped from the color black to stones, but you can make crystal grids. I actually recently there's a voodoo store in our area, which is my other favorite metaphysical shop.
I still gotta see it.
Oh man, you have not been there with us?
Have I? What is it?
You've been there with me. It's Candlewicks.
Yeah, I've been there.
I love that store. I love it so much. They carry that's a store for serious practitioners.
Yeah.
They carry a lot of very niche stuff there that you can't just get at the supermarket.
The guy who was like, "Oh, you guys know what you're talking about?"
Yeah. Because we went in and we were talking, and the guy was like, "I was gonna ask you if you needed help, but you know what you're talking about," which was the first time it had happened to us at a metaphysical store.
It's very awesome because I was so happy when I experienced that because I was like, "Oh, not all shops are bad."
I know, because usually if you say anything they'll be like, "Ugh, no," they'll jump into your conversation. I'll be like, "Oh, the citrine, good for money," and then somebody will bump in and be like, "Okay, but also blah 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 blah," just saying random shit, and it's we didn't really ask. I knew all those things already, but I was just I don't know. But that was a really, really cool experience. That guy was a lot of fun to talk to. Me and him gushed about rocks and their energy for 5 minutes straight. He was like, "So do you feel rock energy too?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I do. Let me tell you about it." And I get so excited. And last time we went there, the shopkeepers were different. And I talked to a Reiki master.
Nice.
Yeah, which I think that you would have had a fabulous conversation with him because
massage anyways.
Yeah, I think that you would be a really great Reiki master because you do massage, and if you combine that with energy, it's almost like pseudo Reiki. So if you got the actual training for both, that could be a very profitable thing for you to do. And he also worked with angels and stuff as well.
Oh, I don't know how willing I'd be to talk to him with angels. I don't know.
Oh no, well the Reiki and the angels are two separate things.
Yeah, they are.
I'm very much do what you want. I've talked to people who work with demons. I've talked to people who work with angels. I haven't done both. Not really interested in either.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm more of an earth person. When I do spells, I really hammer in the earth-based stuff. But I also work with the Neteru, a lot of deities and stuff. Some people are just more comfortable with angels, and I'm like, you do what makes you comfortable.
I don't know. I think it's because I have a Christian background. That's why I'm uncomfortable talking with angels. Yeah, I know they're assholes. I know they're assholes.
I've heard they're assholes. Nice. I think that my guardian angel, which I think he has a lukewarm opinion of me. Of course, I don't exactly go out of my way to talk to him. But he was never he was never mean.
Yeah.
He was just kind of uninterested, and I was like, well, if you are a spirit that's uninterested in working with me, you don't have to work with me.
Yeah.
I rather work with spirits that are interested in working with me.
I feel like mine gets offended every time I talk about angels, to be honest.
Really? Because I don't think that mine is even I don't know enough about angels. I wasn't raised as a Christian. I grew up an atheist, so I admittedly don't know that much. I just know that they I saw this post on the internet, so it probably isn't super accurate, but they come in lots of different forms, and they're essentially genderless.
Yeah, there's some that come with their wings are over their eyes and over their feet for some reason, and then there's some who visualize more of the stereotypical angel, and then there's some other forms, and some of them look really fucking freaky.
I'd probably poop my pants if I saw some of that stuff.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
I don't really want to talk to them because I'm just not into it.
Yeah, I'm not into it either, and I just
fuck with you.
Yeah, and I've heard of people getting choked. I've obviously never had that experience, which is good. I try my best to stay on the good side of the spirits.
Yeah.
Especially ghosts freaking love me now because I go to these graveyards and I bring them all sorts of treats, and I read I like to read. I haven't done this yet, but I meant to bring books to read to the kids and to clean up. I had gone to the graveyard, because this is a graveyard that's like 2 blocks from my house. Like, we have like 3 graveyards within a mile of my house. And this one that we go to is historic. It's a beautiful, beautiful graveyard. You've fallen asleep in that graveyard.
Yeah, I've fallen asleep.
Yeah, it's super peaceful. I mean,
peaceful.
I've never been like scared in that graveyard, and I've gone past it at like night and stuff, no problems whatsoever. But I went there once where I was like, I really had the intent to clean it up, but ironically, since there were other people there, I left because I didn't want to associate myself with other people. Okay, we're at 40 minutes actually already, so we should probably wrap this up soon.
Yeah.
As far as curse breaking goes, jumping on back with the herbs, there are a lot of herbs that you can use. Chamomile, is that how you say it?
Chamomile?
Chamomile. I used to call it chamomile because I had the cha in it. But if you sprinkle that along the borders of your property, that will, in theory, break a curse against you. It probably won't work for a super powerful one, but it might help with something small. Yeah. Same with black salt, which is not like black salt that is used in cooking. It is black salt that is used it's a combination of salt, ash. I put ash in mine. I put charcoal in mine too. Yeah. I put, what else did I put? Black pepper. I might have put black pepper. Iron shavings of iron. That is another one. I mean, people add sulfur, people add herbs and stuff. Like, I'm sure I put basil in mine. I put basil in everything. We can make a part 2 of this. Yeah. Well. That might be a good idea. So you make that, and there are plenty of recipes online. And if you sprinkle that around the borders of your property, that should also help take a spell off of you. Now, if it's a nastier one, you might have to do something a little bit more, like, a little bit tougher. But that's like we're not discussing curse breaking in this episode, just like some basic things. Yeah. But to prevent said curses, jar spells.
Yeah, jar spells are excellent.
Freaking amazing. You have witch jars, and then you just have like jar spells. I have done several, and they are amazing. I had this one, and I wish I could find it on Tumblr, but I can't. And it was amazing. I think I wrote it down, but I think it's in my book Shadows. I'm pretty sure. But I'm not completely sure. And it was excellent. It was one that was meant to... Now, I just did it to protect myself. But it also, in the spell, it would turn spells cast against you back at the person who cast them. Now, I just was like, oh, it's a protection spell. I'll do it up for generic protection. A few months later, somebody actually did try to curse me. And that jar spell sent it back within a day. Yeah. Yeah, like...
Return to sender.
Yeah, I was like down in Florida, and one of my deities was like, you're in danger. And I'm like...
Yeah, wasn't it Sekhmet that was like that?
No, it was Jehudi. Oh. Jehudi's the one who's usually like, you need to do something. Like, there were times where, like, if my friend Brittany is... Because she's going through a lot, and her uncle is gonna not be around much longer. So if she's feeling bad, or if something really bad happens to her uncle, Jehudi will come, because Jehudi and me were talking about this back when it was like first like happening to her. Yeah. Because I talked to her every day. Obviously, I lived with her. She was my roommate. And she was like telling us about how her uncle was sick, and I was like, I asked Jehudi, like, is there anything I can do about this? And he's like, no, he's gonna die. And I know that some people are, like, not into asking divination questions like that, but, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, like, there's a lot of, like, people set rules and stuff, and I don't really listen to rules set by people.
People set rules for divination?
People set rules for necromancy. Oh. Like, you're not supposed to ask a spirit of the dead, like, what the afterlife is like. And I'm like, I've done that often. like I guess, like, because it's weird. Some people view death as a deity, and there are deities of death, but like I don't view death as an entity.
I don't know. For our religion's like
Yeah,
it's just a continuation.
Our religion is a little bit different. So my view of death is not really melancholy at all.
Yeah, it's not.
And it might have something to do with like might have something to do with my OCD. Because I've heard that people with OCD and depression are more likely to be necromancers and spirit workers. I don't know if that's true, but I have both those things.
I don't know. I'm depressed and I'm not like into talking to the dead.
Oh, I'm super into it. I have no fear.
I
like,
do not want to talk to him. I don't know. I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, Liz Chan. Liz Chan doesn't like talking to dead people. And I take Mihir and her to our historic graveyard, and I'm like, hey, look at that over there. And I like just point out all the ghosts and stuff. And she's like, I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, yeah, I invited this dead lady into my house. And
yeah,
I really, my necromancy involves like them coming to me and asking me for something. Like, I don't exactly, I feel like a ghost therapist. Like,
sit on my couch.
No. I try to be like super civil about it. Like, you figure like, oh, you're a necromancer, like it's some evil dark thing. Like I'm making like blood runes and stuff. No, I literally. Well, I mean, I use a lot of chaos magic to protect myself, but basically, I'm like, I like set out like treats and stuff, and I'm like, come here, tell me what's going on in your life. Because I've become very good at communicating with them without divination, which I used to be really shitty at. But now, since I lived in a very haunted apartment, like, there was tons of stuff going on in there. And because it was built in the 1920s, and so there was everything there. So I got super used to dealing with it.
That's right before the Great Depression. And
yeah,
the Great Depression, a lot of people killed themselves.
Oh my god, yeah. No, so, and it's also, it's a college campus.
Yeah.
Right near there. And it's in Detroit.
Fun stuff.
Detroit,
Great
yeah.
stuff.
So you know how safe Detroit is, how pleasant our history is. Yeah, so you had the riots in the 60s. That city is supposed to be cursed. Did you know that? There's a spirit that apparently looks like a little red gnome. I remember another witch friend of mine came up to me once and she was like, have you heard about the man, I can't remember his name, but like a little red man. And when they settled in Detroit, I guess this entity kind of went up to them and was like, if you don't give me like an offering and a celebration like once every few years or maybe once a year, this city will burn every 100 years. And if you look at the history of Detroit, when they stopped, because they used to do parades to appease the spirit. And I think they stopped doing that in, and then the riots happened. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like something like that. And so like the city will like die if the spirit isn't appeased, and nobody's been appeasing it for a while. So like that's why we're struggling.
There's nobody even there.
No, there's nobody. Our population has dropped below 1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, people are fleeing. They're talking about turning acres of that city back into farmland.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna be the one who's like, time to give an offering to the spirit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be that person. I'm like gonna call up all my buddies and be like, okay, guys,
gotta make a trip down to Detroit.
Gotta make these. Yeah, gotta go to Detroit. Bring these spirits some treats. Anyway, we will continue in another podcast, hopefully done tonight as well, so you don't have to wait. Because we have gone seriously off topic. Hopefully it was interesting to hear anyway. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I like to think that our conversation was at least fairly interesting, and I hope that you learned something. Anyway, thank you for listening to Wonder Witches. This is Het.
And this is Chan.
And thanks for tuning in. Blessed be.